Attorney General Ken Paxton could have several challengers in 2022. One of them announced last September that he would be in the race. So we're joined now by Joe Jaworski, the former mayor of Galveston. Joe, thanks for being with us this morning.
Hey, David, how are you? Thank you.
Doing well, thank you. Well, first, tell me what inspired you to want to run for Attorney General?
David, the Texas Attorney General's office is arguably the most important, most powerful office in Texas executive government. And right now, our Attorney General's behavior, both in and out of office, is unacceptable. I've been a Texas attorney since 1991, and I'm a third generation Texas lawyer. Leon Jaworski, my grandfather, Joe Jaworski, my father. The behavior is unacceptable, and we lawyers, we Texans, should do something about it. I have the background, having served as mayor of Galveston and an attorney in good standing for 3 decades. So this is a time where I can give back to my state, which has done so much for me. I'm seeking to be the Texas Attorney General to restore ethics and integrity to the office.
First, from the organizational side, what would you do to improve the office of the Attorney General if you were elected?
Sure. I mean, there's 4,200 employees and a budget of 1.1 billion. And it all starts with the elected statewide constitutional executive. Then in the organization chart, there is a deputy counsel, if you will, the assistants and the chief. And, so certainly the appointment of those 8 individuals is probably the most important thing you do at first. I would like that council to be diverse, but extremely talented, which is the number one consideration. But it's an opportunity so that men and women and people, lawyers of color, know that there is an attorney general in office who respects what the true face of Texas looks like. And so I think it's important that Joe Jaworski, when he takes the oath of office, has a extremely talented, competent, and highly diverse council so that people all around Texas know that they're represented as well. That's number one. I think number two, the thing I hear mostly on the campaign trail is people are concerned about the efficacy of the Child Support Division. So I'm going to do a major audit of that. No one's job's at risk, per se. I'm just saying we need to know that the interests of the children and the parents who take care of them are being protected, while making sure that non-custodial parents' rights are enforced as well. It's a very complex game, and it's a very complex issue. It's not a game, and it needs to be that people know their rights are being protected, especially the children.
Well, then there's also the policy side. And of course, you can't know which lawsuits you'd want to bring to court in 2022, but what would some of your policy priorities be?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, number one, there needs to be someone who advocates on behalf of the patients and the doctors when it comes to health insurance. The discussion politically about health insurance has been Obamacare this, Affordable Care that. Well, whatever insurance it is, what about making sure that claims are paid timely and that patients are getting the care their doctors believe they should receive? Right now, doctors know intuitively they're not going to be paid for certain care that they believe their patients need. And that puts a conflict in the doctor's, calculus, which is, I really want to make sure that this care gets delivered because that's how I've been trained. But I know the insurance company is going to give me a hassle about it. And so I don't want my doctor to have that problem. I don't want prior authorizations to constantly create dissonance in my doctor's thinking. David, then what I think I would not do, that Ken Paxton does all too often, is stoke culture war through his use of the Attorney General opinion. Look, we know this is a gun state, and Texas, people collect guns and they have guns for whatever reason they want, and we have a Second Amendment. I respect that. I really do. But Ken Paxton, during Hurricane Harvey in 2017, when the city of Houston had the refuge of last resort at the George Brown Convention Center, and they said, look, we have a lot of strangers here, a lot of kids, people are just at wit's end, sleeping on cots, and they put like no guns, let's make this a safe place. Ken Paxton sends a demand letter to the mayor saying you're infringing on Texans' Second Amendment rights, just completely missing the forest for the trees. He's all focused on Second Amendment culture war instead of the immediate, very obviously temporary emergency at hand. That's the kind of leadership we don't need.
We'll continue our conversation with Joe Jaworski after the break, and I'll ask him about wanting to get into this race more than 2 years ahead of the election. Stay with us.